Imagine a woman looking into the mirror, not searching for flaws, not measuring herself against the reflections of others, but gazing deeply into her own eyes as if staring into the depths of an ocean. What does she see? Is it the faint lines of time, the weight of her experiences, or the quiet fire of a soul that has learned to burn without apology? This is not a woman who begs for attention. This is a woman who commands it, not with the desperation of youth, but with the effortless magnetism of maturity, the kind that lingers in the air long after she's left the room. What makes her irresistible? It is not the symmetry of her face or the fleeting bloom of youth. It is something far more profound, something that cannot be bought, borrowed, or faked. It is the way she carries the weight of her years like a crown, not a burden. The way she moves through the world as if she belongs to it, and yet it will never quite belong to her. Let me tell you a secret. The most captivating women are not the ones who try to be captivating. They are the ones who have simply stopped trying to be anything other than themselves. They have shed the need for approval like an old skin. And in that shedding, they have uncovered something rare, something intoxicating, a presence that cannot be ignored. Think of the women who have stayed in your mind long after they've left your sight. What was it about them? Was it their laughter, low and unapologetic, as if they'd earned every joy that passed their lips? Was it the way they listened, truly listened, as if your words were the only thing that mattered in that moment? Or was it the quiet confidence that seemed to whisper, "I have seen storms, and I am still here"? This is the power of a mature woman. She knows that allure is not in the desperate grasp for attention, but in the quiet certainty that she is already enough. She does not chase, she attracts. Not because she has perfected some script of seduction, but because she has stopped performing altogether. And here lies the first truth. Confidence is not something you wear like perfume. It is something you exhale. It is the unshakable knowing that you are not for everyone, and that is your strength, not your flaw. Imagine two women entering a room. One is adorned in the latest fashion, her beauty undeniable, yet her eyes dart nervously, as if waiting for permission to exist. The other is dressed simply, her posture relaxed, her gaze steady. She does not seek approval. She simply is. Who do you think lingers in the minds of those she meets long after she's gone? Science confirms this. Studies show that confidence is perceived before beauty. Before a single word is spoken, the body betrays the soul's posture, a straight back, a slow and deliberate stride, a gaze that meets the world without flinching. These are the silent languages of allure. But how does one cultivate this? It begins with a single radical act, the decision to stop apologizing for taking up space, to stand as if you have every right to be here, because you do. Speak slowly, not because you are unsure, but because you know your words carry weight. Let silence linger. It is in the pauses that curiosity grows. And now, the second truth, desire thrives in mystery, in the space between what is known and what is yet to be discovered. A mature woman understands this. She does not lay herself bare like an open book. She lets herself be read slowly, one tantalizing chapter at a time. Think of the last time someone's interest in you grew. Was it when you were always available, always eager, always predictable? Or was it when you pulled back, when you allowed them to wonder, to miss you, to chase. This is not manipulation. It is psychology. The human heart is drawn to what it cannot fully possess, to what remains just out of reach. A woman who does not cling is a woman who cannot be owned. And that is the most irresistible thing of all. But here is the delicate balance. It is not about playing games. It is about having a life so rich, so full that no single person can consume it. It is about knowing your own worth so deeply that you do not fear losing those who do not see it. Which brings us to the third truth. Style is not about trends. It is about sovereignty. The way a woman dresses is not a plea for attention. It is a declaration of self. Consider this. A woman in a simple black dress, her hair loose, her lips untouched by anything but their own natural hue. Yet there is something about her, an energy, an essence. She does not follow fashion, she sets it, because true style is not worn, it is embodied. And what of femininity? Here we must tread carefully, for femininity is not a set of rules. It is not high heels or soft whispers. It is the unapologetic embrace of strength and tenderness, of power in receptivity. It is the ability to influence without force, to draw others in without a single demand. The most magnetic women know this. They do not chase, they attract. Not because they have learned some secret trick, but because they have learned the most important secret of all, how to be still, how to let desire come to them. And now, the fourth truth, conversation is not about speaking. It is about listening, not with the intent to reply, but with the intent to understand. The most captivating women know that words are overrated, that a glance can say more than 1,000 sentences, that a well-timed silence could be the most powerful thing in the room. Ask yourself, when was the last time someone made you feel truly heard? That is the gift a mature woman gives, her presence, undivided, unhurried. But the greatest truth of all, the one that ties all others together, is this: independence is the ultimate aphrodisiac. A woman who does not need you is a woman you cannot resist, because she has chosen you not out of lack, but out of abundance. Imagine a woman who travels alone, who dines in restaurants with nothing but a book for company, who laughs loudly at her own jokes, who is unafraid of solitude. There is nothing more intoxicating than a soul that is complete on its own. And so I ask you, which of these truths do you already carry within you? Which ones have you yet to claim? The mirror is waiting not to judge you, but to remind you of the irresistible woman who has been there all along. But this is only the beginning, because the most profound revelation is yet to come. And if you've felt something shift in you as you've listened, then you understand. This is not just about attraction. This is about awakening. So stay, lean in closer. The next truth is the one that changes everything. And it is just a breath away. Like and subscribe if this resonates with you, because what comes next, you won't want to miss. Now, let us go deeper. Imagine a woman standing at the edge of the ocean at dusk, the tide pulling back just as she steps forward, the horizon stretching endlessly before her. This is the energy of a woman who understands her own depth, who knows that what makes her irresistible isn't found in the shallow waters of validation, but in the uncharted territories of her own becoming. There is a quiet revolution happening in the way mature women move through the world, no longer shrinking to fit spaces that were never meant to contain them, no longer trading fragments of their soul for scraps of attention. This is the fifth truth. Mastery of self is the highest form of seduction. Consider how the most memorable conversations linger, not because of grand declarations, but because of the spaces between words, the way her eyes hold yours just a second longer than necessary, how she leans in slightly when you speak, as if your thoughts are treasures to be examined. This is the art of presence, of making someone feel like the only person in the room while simultaneously reminding them they are privileged to be there at all. A study from Harvard revealed something fascinating. Humans are more drawn to those who exhibit selective vulnerability than to those who are either completely guarded or excessively open. The mature woman knows this instinctively. She shares just enough to intrigue, but never so much that she becomes predictable. Her stories come in fragments, hints of a past that shaped her but did not break her, glimpses of battles fought that explain the steel in her spine but never beg for pity. How does one cultivate this? Start by becoming comfortable with silence. Most people rush to fill empty spaces with nervous chatter, but the woman who can let silence breathe between sentences creates an irresistible tension. Watch how men lean in closer when you pause, how their eyes search yours for what comes next. This is the power of restraint. Then there is the sixth truth, the one that changes everything. It's not about what you do, but about what you stop doing. The transformation happens in the unlearning, in the shedding of desperate habits, like checking your phone for messages that haven't come, like altering your opinions to matches, like waiting for permission to take up space. There's a psychological phenomenon called the scarcity principle. We value what feels just beyond our grasp. When a woman is fully immersed in her own life, her career blooming, her passions burning bright, her calendar filled with people and projects that excite her, she becomes scarce in the most delicious way. Not because she's playing hard to get, but because she is hard to get. Genuinely, magnificently occupied with the art of living. This is why men find themselves inexplicably drawn to the woman reading alone at the cafe, to the executive who commands the boardroom without raising her voice, to the artist whose hands are stained with paint from a morning spent creating rather than primping. They are drawn to the energy of a woman who isn't waiting for life to begin,